Good morning, dedicated JemCon Sunday morning people, man.
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
So if I fall over in the middle of stuff, I'm just tired. I'm not having a heart attack or stroke or anything, I'm just tired. And I will assume the same of all of you. So obviously, Gem was a big deal. And there were all sorts of companies in the 80s that responded to the high-end dolls, your Barbies and your Darcys and your Tuesday Taylors and your Gems, by providing lower price points for discount stores like Woolworths and also catalogs, all of those great. How many of you actually remember catalogs? Oh yeah, okay. So what you get is the Totsy company. We're going to start with Totsy. They sold stuff in stores, and they of course also did Barbie stuff. So here's Rockin' Sandy. She has blonde and purple hair. I got this doll loose, and I looked at her outfit and I thought, oh well, someone just dressed her, and then I got her in the box. No, that's what they sold her in. So she is Totsy's 11.5-inch rocker doll, and you can see her fancy art that they gave her. And I love their hair. They come in some cool hair colors. And then on the back it's just, nothing. There's no pictures. So they did make 11.5-inch dolls and rock and roll fashions. So this is an 11.5-inch fashion. You can see we've got a plastic keyboard. And this design was also used in their 12.5 because Totsy had been doing catalogs and discount store stuff since the 50s. There's vintage Barbie stuff in Totsy, 11.5-inch size. So it just made sense for them to also do catalog stuff for Gem. And so they did. And it is called Jewel. So here is a single Jewel fashion. You would have found this in your Woolworths, your Buckeye Marts, your Murphys, probably also the first few Targets, the first few Walmarts, because they existed back then. This is how they were packaged. Except that some of them have a slightly different package, and that's a whole. But the important thing is you got Jewel. And you have 12.5-inch made to fit. 12.5-inch dolls share Gem, Jewel, and the Misfits. We have looked for a long time for the Jewel doll. There isn't a Jewel doll. And that's because it is much, 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 much more expensive to produce a doll than it is to sew some stuff and make one mold. So they did, in fact, make a Gem shoe mold. And it is well known. It is our favorite little 2-hole pump mold. I don't know if you can see the holes there. This is the accessory pack from a catalog pack. And so that's where you'll find, a lot of people don't know where these come from, assume they're real Gem. But there is a lovely color variation of them. That's the top row here. So they come in a lot of really cool colors. Some of which look like Gem colors, and some of which don't, like that green. So here are the 2 holes across the top, and there are black ones, but they're pretty rare, and I don't have one, so I just have a picture of it. So they sold Jewel fashions in those single kind of rocker fashions. They sold them in wonderful 3-fashion gift sets with accessories. And you can see here this blue and silver dress. Have you seen that pattern before? Like 2 minutes ago on a rock and roll thing? They reused patterns. Sometimes they changed the size, and sometimes they didn't. Totsy kind of doesn't fit very well. So you will see that as you see the dolls here. But they also had something called Nightlife. And Nightlife was evening gowns, and they are really rare. But I made a paper doll with a bun, with a fancy updo. And this is the very 80s bubble gown. It's in terrible shape. It came with like a white fur white feather marabou kind of stole sort of thing, and white shoes that fit Jem. So that is Jewel Nightwave. And then they did their catalog stuff. And I have a whole bunch of catalog stuff. But the important thing is, it was sold in boxes like this. This was specifically one of its boxes. It just says Dolly's Fashion Mode. This is a bilingual one. This was Sears Canada 86, I think. And then on the back it tells you the company and the catalog, and fits size 12.5-inch, 31.8 centimeter dolls. Pourquoi paid they 12? I don't remember, 12.5. Anyway, fabriqué in Chine. Pouce? So in these, you can come a little closer to see this because it's kind of cool. They were, many times these were on the page with the Jem dolls. Like the 86 US Sears catalog is very well known because they were right there at the bottom of the page, and if you bought a Jem doll, you got a discount on the fashions or something. They arranged the fashions piled on top of each other like this. Each fashion was complete in and of itself, and so we have the reversible pink lame and pink polka dot thing, and some tights, and a little purse. And the polka dots are right there. So there's that design. Then there were, this is my new and exciting one from like 2018 that no one has seen yet. There's the lame overalls with the fringy top and the hat in a different color of lame and a different color of fabric. And I've got that on a doll because they sold it in a bunch of different packs, and they sold it as a single jewel fashion also, because why not? And then there's this fantastic fringe thing that has a belt, and it is a big old gold lame jumpsuit with printed velour fringe and a printed velour belt. And I'm going to bring that around because it's just cool. And I have another variant of that is sold in pennies because, they're making these $1 off if you, okay. And they also had accessories, and so the accessories for this one were a big plastic boombox with a lot of detail, really, a plastic microphone, a ridiculously tiny guitar, a plastic record player with movable arm and removable record, and a cardboard keyboard in gold, and then the 3 pairs of shoes. And quality control wise, they were not quite what Jem was. This is one of the shoes I got. So there you go. Let's just sell that. It's a kid's toy. Who cares? So that's your quality control. And and there's an extra record for the record player too. And when I was a kid, looking at those records and those record players, I want that so badly. And I finally got it when I was like 45. I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was. Well, if it's important, it'll come back. Anyway, so that's how they were sold. So there's no pictures of them except in the catalogs. They're not labeled in any way. They're kind of cheap. People have no idea what they have. No idea. If they do, they're experienced gem collectors, and they're going to charge you proportionately. So we have the 2 main sets were sold in the Sears catalog in 1986. And here's some pictures of them on dolls. And there's some variation for these. You can see Stormer here is wearing one with her sleeve is on the left arm and the neckline goes down to the right. This dress has the sleeve on the right arm and the neckline goes down to the left. And it's really thin, but it has these incredible tights. They are amazing. The fabric is 2 tones of pink thread in these wild wavy patterns. And they were just like, yeah, wear that with the fringe dress. And I was like, oh, absolutely, I will. So there's those two. And the tights sometimes fit pretty well and sometimes do not. Most of them are not stretchy. Most of them are just cool looking. So they had to make them a little big, and then sometimes they make them extremely big. So we've got those two sets. As I said, they sold things in the catalog sets and they sold things in Jewel. And so you'll have a lot of variation. Sometimes it's just a color. Like this jumpsuit came in two very different colors. Sometimes, you know, the color is a little harder to judge. Apparently there were lots of places where it was like blue and aqua are the same thing. We're going to sell them for the same thing. So this is a different color. It's a little easier to see on the inside. Sometimes there was vastly different fabrics, but they sold these all over the place. There are things repeated. There are variations between what you get in one box and what you get in another. My Stormer here with her all silver outfit. She came, this was a box set. This is my second one. The outfit that's in this box is very different fabrics, but it's clearly the same basic concept. So I walk down here first. And both of them are really cool, and I love them both. But I've got 3 of that dress and 2 of that dress, and there's 2 different fabrics, and the petals from that skirt are completely held on with tape on my Shayna doll because they just sewed 1 row of stitches and didn't finish the edge of tissue lame, and it just rips. The thread just stays above the stitches and the rest of the fabric goes. So in the catalogs, Totsy sold both the 2-hole pumps and something that is clearly, they got a hold of some gem dolls of fashions. And so they made a different set of molds that are just totally ripped off a gem in gold, kind of a bluish silver, kind of a real silver, and a greenish silver. And they've got the sandals, which are not right and left, they're just a single. And these don't have holes, but they are really, really cool. So it's that second row. And I have noted that they clearly had a slightly different production. So there's a slightly lighter and a slightly darker variation of each shoe, and yeah, I have been seeing. But there they are, the Totsy catalog. And they also, in one set, this set here, have boots that fit gem. So in this one, they come with big fur covers, but they are kind of pewter plastic. I'll leave her, you can see her. And then the other one, for this kind of showgirl outfit with a silver crown, is gold chrome. And this also just falls apart like crazy. These fabrics are not suitable for children. And here are the boots in the little case, so you can see them, and I'll bring her around in her showgirl outfit. Yeah. So they're really cool. They are, Darcy's boots also obviously fit gem. Darcy is over there and Maxie is over there, and I was going to try and incorporate them into a talk, but basically come and see me if you want the ancestry descendant talk. So that's what Totsy did, and they're very, very useful. I have a lot of Totsy stuff kind of in this area that I don't know where it came from, but it's clearly Totsy. It's clearly also, like this is the same dress, this black and silver. So this is, oh good, there went her shoe. Over here, we've moved from Sears into Penny's. Penny's had a reversible set, and they had our old friend, the pink and polka dot one sleeve thing, and they had this little gem dress, which is the same shape as Roxy's dress, which is why I picked it up. And again, it's a difficult set of fabrics. It just kind of rips, but this is the pink side. The silver side looks a lot better because I think that's the main side, but it is meant to be reversed. And this has the polka dots and all sorts of things. This one is reversible. The bodice goes to satin, which is boring, so I don't do that. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, so they did not make Rio clothes specifically, but they did sell a rocker set on the same page in the '86 US Sears catalog. And that's here. I'll bring the little thing around. These 5 fashions. And I call them from my right to left, Duran Duran, Bowie, Crazy Tales, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Space Michael. And many of the shoes are too small, but some of the shoes fit, and all the clothes fit, because again, Totsy's fit is generous. And you may have noticed I said Michael. There's a good reason for that. They also did a line called Superstar Fashions, specifically for Michael Jackson. These were from '84, and apparently they didn't sell very well, so they slapped a jewel sticker on them and said, put this on your Jem doll. So this is one of the Superstar Fashions with Jewel horning her way in there. And this is made for Michael Jackson, and if you do some research, all of them do kind of resemble some of his stage outfits. This is like Victory Tour. And the thing that I enjoy about these, Rio can look kind of dorky in them. This one has really big hips. You know? And then here's whatever video this is. Is this bad or? Oh, Beat It.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know that when I'm awake. But they're fun, and there's art on the back of each fashion, so you actually do know what's available here. And there's kind of Michael Jackson, and there's kind of El DeBarge, and then there's blonde guy with mustache. And I don't know who he is, but he's playing his guitar with his glove on his string hand or on his pick hand. I don't think it works well either way. But I love these illustrations. And I love the concept of cruise ship blonde mustache guy in a Victory Tour outfit. And they put this pose. They got the poses. They did this, and I will say, male rocker fashion doll art is awesome. And you will see this again with LA Gear of all people. So there are a whole bunch of Michael there's 12 of them, and I have collected a lot of them over the years, and they're fun. And many of them are recognizable, some of them aren't. Anyway, I've tried to put them together, and this one doubled. I don't have the Superstar packaging one, I have the Sears catalog, but I think that I ended up with its glove loose somehow. So I think that this would be the glove that goes with that. So we're going to actually skip LA Gear for a second. Move over to Creata. So Creata, and Lori Jean is way over there, so I'm going to try and be big. Creata was not so much a knockoff company as a low-budget competitor. They put out whole doll lines. This one, I'll bring her over. I'll bring 2 of them over. This one is a flower princess. She's the sparkle-eyed bride, African-American version, wearing a flower princess gown that I love, which is sort of like Shayna's gown in the New Orleans episode. So here she is. That's Leanna with her jewel eyes. And they also had a series I think it was a little bit later, but they also get mixed in, the Today's Girls, who were supposed to be teenagers. And so she's wearing her original outfit, and she's really cute, and she's very 80s. So this is what she looks like. So they had play sets. I mean, Flower Princess was huge. I think Flower Princess went from about 82 into lace, which is the main thing we're going to talk about. But Flower Princess had dozens of dolls, and I mean at least 100 fashions of all kinds. Very few of which were actually princess gowns. It was like sportswear and stuff. But they decided to get into the Barbie and the Rockers, Jem, band, not bandstand, not bandshell, bandwagon. And so they made a whole line of 11.5-inch dolls, and that's lace. And I have packaging for 2 of them, and I have fashion packaging for the first year. So here's your first year, and these ladies are not on their own boxes because America, and this is the first year fashion packaging. So both of these were variants. They have the same outfit as one of the other dolls in the room. So this is technically the blonde dress, and this is the raven-haired lace dress. They have art. She does at least get her own box art here. She is drawn with darker hair, with her hair and darker skin tone. She's just the blonde art there. But the back of the box has both the dolls. Whoa. I'm going to put the fashion down for a second. It has the dolls and it has the art for the fashions at the bottom. So each run came with 6 fashions in that 11.5-inch doll size. And we'll get the dolls back for you. So we have first run, second run. Oh, sorry. Okay. And on the back they have pictures of the dolls and art of the fashions along the bottom. And so the first and second runs of the dolls, they had a blonde, a black-haired doll, and a redhead, and then an African-American black doll duplicating one of the outfits. The third run of the dolls was glow and glitter. And they have glow-in-the-dark stuff, which, if you know me, I love glow-in-the-dark stuff way too much. And so they're over here. They replaced the black girl with a white guy because, and they had glow-in-the-dark old lady wigs. And 2 of them have Mary Rockers style fur on a thing, and there's glow-in-the-dark paint slapped on there. And 2 of them, of the 3, have barrettes with glow-in-the-dark plastic. And they're just Velcro, but there's a little piece of plastic, a little toupee, tribble kind of hair thing. And I'll come over and show them. Anyway, they also have glow-in-the-dark earrings and glow-in-the-dark stars and fancy stuff on their faces. So most of the glow-in-the-dark still works after all these years. And this may sound like a digression, that you're like, why are we talking about these 11.5-inch Barbie competitors? It is because they took the designs from the first set of dolls and fashions and made them into Rockstar. And Rockstar, music video fashions for 12.5-inch dolls, fits Jem trademark, Kimber trademark, Shayna trademark, and other 12.5-inch fashion dolls. Copyright, Creata International Incorporated, 1986, Los Angeles, California, blah, blah, blah. All rights reserved. Trademark indicates U.S. trademark of Creata International Incorporated. I want to know what that is about, because they are claiming that Jem, Kimber, and Shayna are their trademarks.
Yeah, and they're not.
Yeah, they're totally not. But here is the basic 6 fashions on Jem dolls, and then this is how they're packaged, and you can see that their shoes are the squishy ones with stars on the toes. Now these, Creata actually fits. They're practically tailored. And so some of the 11.5-inch ones you can stretch cruelly. onto a gem doll, but like mostly it's the silver dress that's like this one. I'll show you the size differential. And you can kind of see, because I've got everybody grouped with their little friend. Excuse me. But they were specifically fitted to each doll. And if you put this silver dress on a gem doll, the lame spreads out and de-shines instantly. Now, the pink lame fits closely enough that if you are lucky enough to get a good pink dress, decide what doll that is going on for the rest of everyone's life. That dress is never coming off that doll because it will mess it up and it will be sad. So these have a little bit of variation. They have different color sequins and different color bow and glove in the 11.5-inch version. This was also, several of these first year lace things were sold as Cindy fashions. And I in fact got my loose silver dress with the Cindy shoes and the lace shoes. So I don't know what the story was with that, but there's a Cindy doll collector book, and this was specifically marketed as a Cindy fashion. So there's the Cindy shoes. And here's the silver dress on top. So we have 6 really good, very interesting fashions with cool gem-sized shoes that fit Gem nicely. They come in 4 colors: black, sapphire blue, lavender, and kind of a sickly pink. But those are also a great option. These tend to be a lot rarer and thus a lot more expensive. I have seen ridiculous prices on these. Comparable to, I've seen $500 on the Rockstar on eBay. Now, they sit there for years at that price. Anyway, and I'll just show you, Lad didn't get any, so Layson, Lad, he didn't get any fancy hair stuff. He has a glow-in-the-dark hair streak and a glow-in-the-dark guitar. So, and he also has a little tiny earring that glows in the dark, a little painted-on earring. And they use this mold for lots of boy dolls. You'll see a lot of hair colors, and the Flower Princess had molded on laurel wreaths and white legs being their tights because they were really little short coat parties. I'm going to the wrong place. Okay, moving right along because we have to keep moving. I will mention, as you're looking at these, this fashion here is what I call Madonna, for reasons that I think are kind of obvious. But she's actually a good example of how they did their accessories. It's printed vinyl. So you've got the printed clear vinyl and the black vinyl. And I think they're cool. And where's my, so here's I'll bring them around because I only have 2 of these. So this is the 11.5 and this is the 12. And so they did slightly different things, but they also, with the exception of a couple of color variants that are pretty standard, they kept things pretty uniform. So if you have black, or I think this one will stretch on a doll, but pants probably won't, because you can just look at them and see the difference in size of those pants. But I know. But so this is a comparison of the 2 versions. They made all of the 12.5-inch ones in distinctly different colors than the 11.5. So this one I said is Madonna. The Xena is the one that people are most familiar with, I think. And the 12-inch version is actually dark blue. She's so dusty, I'm so sorry. So here's the comparison. These dresses are very similar, but they are cut differently. The straps are longer on the 12-inch, so that they fit better on her.
Yes, there's a little,
Yeah, that's what that's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
sweetheart.
You can see, like, I mean, you can just see the difference in those gloves. And the tights are vastly different. These tights fit very well. They're not stretchy. They are sized correctly. And so again, it's like you get this on. You probably don't want to take it off just because it's a pain. But you're going to see these dresses a lot because they're vinyl and they hold up. And a cool thing that they did, I'll show. They included earrings that match what's on the doll, and they're on a little piece of elastic. You can see that on the top of her head. So there's a little elastic circle with earrings, and you just arrange it around the doll's face so that she can wear the earrings. And you can see that in the packaging for these fashions too. Oh, and I forgot the second run of dolls. The second run of dolls are like New Orleans. They came with curved hands, arms, elbows, whatever that is. And so we have kind of showgirly kind of girl, and then we have total New Orleans House of the Rising Sun woman. But they're very pretty, and they're frequently on eBay. I would say that if you were paying more than $40 for one of them, you're being very generous, and you should probably wait to find one that's a little under $40. But you do you. So these are the second run laces. Little diversion there, because I love stuff. They also had a third kind of minor line of 11.5-inch lace fashions that I've only seen one of on eBay. The auction ended early because the item was no longer available. I'm like, I would have paid you $300 for that. Anyway, so the other thing is there's a lot of variation in this tinsel fabric. You can see here we've got purple and silver, pink, silver and blue, red and purple, and they matched within each outfit. The pants, the lapels, and the headband all match, and then they just use the same purple and lavender. And they did that in the 11.5 too. These are two different colors, and they did it in the, I call this the Cindy fashion. And this looks kind of beat up, and it is a little, but this design is actually what it's supposed to be. It's just a little ruffled at the edges, and I didn't have a red headband, and Roxy has a spot on her head, so she has a rakish Adam Ant kind of lace thing going on. But, so there's some standard variations, and also the green one. I've got 3 different variations of the green tinsel, and I love them all. I just love these dolls. So those are our 2 companies that specifically advertise stuff for Gem. They've explicitly made it for Gem and made shoes to fit. There's a third company that I really like, which is called LA Gear. And you may have seen, the thing that people see a lot is the flash fashions. And this is a simple cotton tunic with a design and 3 little tiny bulbs. They're not LEDs, they're little tiny bulbs. Comes with pilgrims and a scarf. And long ago, they actually lit up. These days, they don't. There's 6 of them. And I have them all on dolls. And there's a complicated way that the wires and bulbs work. And luckily, you can call it luckily, I suppose, I got one where the batteries had leaked. And it's a duplicate of the car fashion, excuse me. But I've turned it inside out, and I've got the mechanism bagged. And so this is the front of the dress with this on the back of the bulbs. This is the mechanic thing. It was supposed to go under the doll's arm and into this little pouch at the back of the neck. And so even if this little assemblage, and here's the little button, even if this assemblage, the batteries hadn't leaked and acided everything, people who know more about electronics can be like, oh yeah, that's 1986. But there's a little computer chip, you know. It's very fragile. A lot of these had the wires would break, You can see the acid damage up there. But this is how they're put together. Here's the little pouch on the back of the neck. And so the lights would flash in some fashion. I don't know if they blinked or if they stayed on or what they did because I've never found one that works.
The red one, I had the red one and it blinked.
I blinked. Cool. Oh, yay! We know it blinked.
I still have it. It
doesn't
corroded. It never occurred to me that I need to change your battery.
Well, it's a really basic mechanism, and I bought some LEDs recently, and I thought I'm going to rewire one of these to work, and maybe I'll do that someday. But often, what you find, where is she? My Roxy, who was wearing the famous dress, which inspired. This is where we have our JemCon 2022 fashion.
Yeah.
TJ did the art for this because it's fantastic. So here's the original, and here's the 2021 dress. And you'll find a lot of them where the bulbs and all the stuff have just been taken out, and it's just a dress with holes in the chest. So you just have to be careful what dolly you're displaying it on so that the holes fall in the right place or not the wrong place. But this is probably the most famous one.
Yeah, I saw you had one with the, instead of the white, which is what I have, the silver. The rivets or whatever holds the white.
Oh,
silver.
yeah. I mean, and again, it's that thing where, you know, one day they ran out of white and the carded one has silver instead of white.
Yeah.
And everybody else I got them, the other ones all have white, but you know, one day they ran out of white and they just used silver because kids joy, who cares? But there are 6 of them, and I showed you that inside out one with damage. This has kind of a rockin' roadster on it, so I put it on Aja. There are 2 white designs, 2 neon yellows, a red, and a watermelon. And they're all cool, and they came with, as I said, pilgrims and a lace scarf. And they're all here. The pilgrims are way too small, obviously, but you know, it works fine for Jem. And yeah, the thing kind of is awkward, and especially there's Kimber in one that's just a LA Gear logo, and that back of the bulb thing just looks terrible. But whatever. There are also some other, she doesn't belong there. She belongs over here. They used that design for a lot of dresses. I dressed up my Clash in this fantastic face dress, but it was a Hollywood Video Magic fashion that came with a shirt. So there is a shirt with a collar underneath the soft cotton printed tunic, and black lace tights and a pearl necklace, and it came with pilgrims and a microphone. And does this just not say 1986 to you? I mean, isn't that just the most awesome thing? And
Looks like the
yeah, it's just really cool. And they did a couple of other things. The other famous one is kind of nagely. And I mean, there's this one, which I've known forever. It came with pilgrims because pilgrims at the beach, and this, I'm just gonna lay it down. It's got big old graphic V's on it in very 80s colors. And it came with a really cheap little bikini. There is cheap little bikini bottom, cheap little bikini top, and the pilgrims. Because bikinis and pilgrims, fashion statement. This one came in 2 fabrics. This one is the polyester one. It also came in cotton with 2 little hand barbells because why not? But LA Gear is a fitness company, a shoe company. And so these are still kind of adjacent to their main business model. Rock and roll was not. Evening wear was not. Lingerie really was not, but you will find LA Gear fashions for all of those. So here's another Hollywood Video Magic that I absolutely adore that you can put on Jem. These are made for 11.5-inch dolls. You often can't get I mean, none of the tights, most of the gloves, none of the shoes. But the dresses and some of the jewelry. And that's why I go into these so much, because they're just really, that's really gemmy. So they made the things that are most relevant to us are Hollywood video magic, girls and guys. So there were the single fashions packaged like this. There were also 3 fashion gift sets, which were packaged like this, except these are the guy ones. There were several for girls. I have one of them in red and gold that the Misfits are wearing. And I can only carry 2 of them at a time, so I'm going to leave Stormer with her amazing top. This came to me on the little plastic mannequin things, and that top was tied exactly like that on the mannequin. And so I very carefully recreated it, and I'm not going to show it to you in the video because I'm cruel. But these are just really cool too. I like them a lot. And I got some tights. It came with silver tights that wouldn't fit, so I got some Totsy silver tights. And then Stormer is on the table. And they use a lot of that, I call it iridescent pebbled vinyl. It's pretty. Anyway, they do a lot of sportswear. They have a pair of, this is all 11.5-inch stuff. I got this on Stormer with some strategic unstitching and restitching. It has radishes and the word vegetables in cursive backwards on the pants. And I decided I needed that for my dolls. So here are radish pants.
Like your pickle homages.
Yep. But aren't they cute? They're just cute. And so this was also I've got on the card one that has scribble pants that are very, very 80s. I had so many scribble things, but I haven't taken that out yet. And then, I'm going to take a break. This one, this face, I'm going to take the long one around because I don't think people have seen it as much. She's wearing Barbie sunglasses, by the way. So this came on the card with this cheap little purple bikini and pilgrims. It is a long swimsuit cover-up with a slit up the side and this amazing Nagel art kind of, I mean, it's not Nagel, but you know what I mean. There are not, with the exception of the guys, complete art representing all the fashions in the line for any of the girl lines. But this face is on the back of the packaging. And I have known about these for 15 years, 16 years. I got the long one in 2019. And I thought, well, it's too bad. I'll show you the illustration. This is the back of most of the cards. And it mixes several of the athletic wear lines. And if you look at the bottom where it's girls wearing the actual human clothing that LA Gear sold, apparently the red-haired girl is Jenny Lewis, who is a pop star. But she was a child model also. So here's that dress in the art. And I wanted that for years and years and years and years and years, and finally got it in 2019 and 2020. So there's the dress. And here's some other fashions, including the goose sweatshirt. I love the goose sweatsuit so much. And I own it. And there's a variant, the color of the peach accessories. But this is what you see on the back of these cards. And the exception is the boy clothes. So, and I should say there's also some very uncomfortable aerobic wear. Just imagine doing aerobics in lace tights, a strapless leotard with lame flanges, a lame over tank top, sparkle polyester leggings. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's awful, but it's gorgeous. But just imagine actually working out in that. Even doing the most TV exercises in that. And this is also LA gear. It actually has some pictures on the back. There are some pictures, but these came to me much later. So you can see there was a doll. They put her in that, and then there's various lines. So I do have pictures of some of them. These are terribly posed. They've got their arms in front of their bodies. They're facing away. You can't see half of the stuff. I'm like, who styled this for you? But so that is the photo evidence we have of any of the girl lines. But the guy fashions, the Hollywood video magic for boys. Again, for 12-inch dolls like Ken, meaning specifically for Ken. Oh, and I'll run the goose around while I'm talking. This is the goose sweatsuit. There were geese everywhere. Even if you were just a child, you have to remember the geese in country blue and pink and peach. And there is a sweatsuit with separate ribbon bows sewn on to the geese.
Every kitchen.
It's a goose morning.
Did you have this cement geese on people's porches that people dressed up? Yeah. People don't believe me about that. I'm like, what? You were
Our
alive
kitchen
then.
was like that.
These fit Gem dolls quite easily. The shoes don't, but who cares?
Gonna lose them anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's a whole bunch of I was a teenager in the 80s, and my mother did not wear this kind of thing, but didn't you see people's moms' hearts on their sweatsuits? We are going to talk about the boy rockers, but I just have to show you the mom sweatsuit, because I love it. Yep. So there is aerobics gear, there are physical fashions, there's all sorts of, this is LA Gear, we're a fitness company, and most of them will fit Gem, like for dance and for Aja, if you want workout gear and dance gear. Aja is shown in the very styling mesh workout gear, and it shows little ladies doing aerobics. They're black silhouettes with neon leg warmers, neon squiggle leg warmers. Oh, we're almost, I gotta do the voice really fast. Neon squiggle leg warmers on the sweatshirt.
That's right.
That's so fun.
So the long story short is, Multi-Toys was a cheap fashion manufacturer. LA Gear contracted with Multi-Toys. Ooh, we've got heads too. So all of this LA Gear stuff was produced by Multi-Toys. You'll see that on the packaging. And they also did stuff that was not branded LA Gear. And we have found precisely one of these. This is John Henry's. Fits 12.5-inch dolls, Video Magic Fashions, Multi-Toys Incorporated. It comes with a guitar and a bracelet in the shoe thing because they didn't bother to make shoes. And I've got it on a doll. You can see it on Clash in the middle of nowhere there, but it fits Gem dolls really well. And I don't know if they just took a look at their stuff and said, what fashion do we have that fit these giant dolls? Let's package it, or if there are any others out there. Never seen any others. We just found this in 2021. So this is officially a 12.5-inch Video Magic Fashion from there's no year on it, but I'm going to say it's 1986.
Is that the male dolls?
This is female. This is a girl doll fashion. I've got it on. Got it on Flash. It's really cute, but it's really cool. It's a really good style for a cheap company. And so they also made boy rocker fashions. I've got a bunch of those here, and they have art. And I'm just going to show you art. All of these men are so angry about something. I don't know what it is. It's like I have to play in this cover band and I hate it. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm really angry. Oh, I'm soulful. I'm kind of upset. And then on the back, we get a couple more of them. And we get some of the girls. So this is our only view of art for the girls in the Hollywood Video Magic LA year. And here we are. And just, just think about the jobs maybe these guys are doing. Are they on cruise ships? You know, look how angry they are.
It could be.
They're so
Explain.
angry.
You would see that on Love Button.
But, and also in the art here, look what fabric.
Yeah.
We got Roxy fabric in the art.
The
So there's only angry men. Playing the rock band.
that white outfit. The one on the front.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of a neighborhood jacket sort
Well,
of thing.
in the Boy George doll, they didn't make the fashions, and that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Was there a Boy George doll?
Oh yeah, this is actually a product too. They made they made one pair of pants and 2 shirts or coats and things and 2 pairs of shoes. And it's a mix and match boy doll set. And I have found 2 of them, and I've got them both here. One of them has a fantastic purple satin tailcoat tux. So there that is, and I'm sure someone was angry about wearing that too. Anyway, there's so much in knockoffs that you're going to find, especially in loose eBay lots. I've got, here's my guitar collection, so you can come and see what that mystery guitar you have is. Here's some more multi-toys. There's Fun and Furs, and there is, let's see, what's a fun one? I mean, this looks like Caveman Girl. I mean, they title it Fun and Furs. And then there's Video Magic Glow Fashions, and the white Christmas glows in the dark. But there's party colored tights. I like the tights. And they've got that guitar in
But it's
there.
like an Asian
microphones.
influence.
It's
doesn't
all,
it? It's like a German, Asian fusion.
I mean, this one is just, who even knows, but they had, you know, this is a choice, as you said. And I'll also show the back. So here's a Fun and Fur fashion, and here's the Video Magic Glow fashion. Excuse me a second. Dry it out a little bit here. Excuse me.
Are you still laughing?
So we also have karate team fashions. You want to do karate in those, don't you? Galaxy Girl, which was the Astro Fashion, the Barbie Astro Fashion knockoff. Excuse me. You want to see furries. We got furries. And then there's the Glow Video Magic, which is the same as the Video Magic Glow. Why don't you pass those down while I cough?
Do you like some water?
Yes, please. Oh, excuse me, this is some great production values here. But just look at those, and especially the Broadway dancers. The Broadway dancers, man. Thank you. I have a bunch of them. They're astounding.
Makes you a superstar.
It's pictures on the back also.
Just not
Person.
My life is complete.
Yes.
I'll bring this around. The Broadway dancers and the karate team.
I know.
The Broadway dancers are wearing animal fursuits. In the middle.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I was thinking they're meant to be cats. You know, it's a takeoff of cats. But look at that little photo
Oh
in the
my
center.
god.
And I have them and I
Is that
forgot
one
to
with
bring them.
antenna?
Yeah, there's a moth and a cat and a green moose, or I mean, there's a moose and a, I don't even know. I have several of them, but I forgot to bring them.
You tell me that with Barbie this year.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they did. They came in
Yeah, but furry, but not fur.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of them is a reindeer, and so I made my friend a Finnish reindeer harness and gave her the doll outfit with the reindeer harness. So, this is my Creata Koffel class. I will be pretty much in here except during some of the panels. Please, I put a bunch of stuff out this morning.
Oh, yes.
So there is more to see.
I'll be good, because I want to buy a bunch of
And
things.
Stefan also brought these really nifty little kits. So Stefan, if you
A
want to say
little bit.
something
I'm still a little. It was a fun night. It was worth it. It was worth it. I did a little bit of panic. We'll try to get it. So.
And they were like, you could just put them on your, like, that was the idea, you can take them to school. Like, what were they called, the birds? We call them kuifstaartjes. Fairy tales. Fairy tales?
I don't.
Yeah. So, but of course the makeup and everything is very,
Very gem.
very gem. This is a hat, missing the clip. And they actually were glow in the dark. They don't work anymore like glowing, but so the glow just disappeared. But and they came in two different. This one is called Pop Style, and there was a different name for them also. And they were like they were sold at like a cheap department store. I think they were like 10 guilders instead of 40 guilders for a gem doll. So. And it came in many different colors, but I only found one. I know two. Carol Jane has a couple of them.
Yeah, I've seen more colors.
Yeah,
pink and purple.
yeah. There's one with like big curly
Yeah.
Sheena type of hair. Yeah, yeah.
So everybody, thank you for your attention, and have fun with the rest of JemCon.
Thank you, Liz.
The shoes there.